So we have cultivation, we have MIPS, and we have stores. We also have training company, hardware and packaging. We have a leasing company. So we have in our portfolio, we have all sides of the industry, maybe a foot deep, but very, very wide.
From MJBulls Media, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show. Today we're continuing our Cannabis Investor Spotlight series, and we're joined by Rich Batenburg, the fund manager at Cliintel Capital Group. Rich, thanks for being on the MJBulls podcast.
Thank you, Dan.
So the MJBulls podcast has two distinct listener demographics. One is people that are interested in investing in the cannabis industry, and two is cannabis companies that are looking for investments. So today I'd like you to speak to both groups, but let's start off with the cannabis companies. Can you tell us a little bit about Cliintel Capital and the type of cannabis companies you look for to invest in and how much you like to invest, and even tell us some of the companies that you've invested in?
Sure. So we are a little bit different in that we both touch the plant and we have ancillary businesses, and our interests are spread equally between the two.
Okay.
So we take anywhere from a minority to a controlling to full interest in both types of entities. So we have cultivation, we have MIPS, and we have stores. We also have training company, hardware and packaging.
Oh, wow.
We have a leasing company. So we have in our portfolio, we have all sides of the industry, maybe a foot deep,
Okay.
but very, very wide.
Yeah.
Our end, because we're a fund and we're looking to wrap at some point in the future, our end was to find entities that either produced intellectual property or some kind of branding that could be sold to big food, big pharma, big tobacco, or big agriculture.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good strategy. Can you give us a couple names of some of the people within your portfolio?
Sure. So Cannabis Industry Institute is the training company. Subtle Escape is a hardware and packaging company. Mm-hmm. Bonsai Cultivation is a grow cultivation company here in Colorado.
Okay.
We are the master licensee for the Clear, and we also are licensed. The Clear Colorado group is 100% held by us. So we manufacture and distribute the Clear in Colorado. We license under a different entity, partners in other states for the Clear.
So if a cannabis company is raising capital and wants to work with you, what information will they need to provide to you, and how do they get in touch with you?
You can get me at Batenburg at Cliintel, spelled really horribly, CLIINTEL.com.
Okay, I got it.
And what I typically want to see is a package with real specific drill down on the business plan. But what I'm really wanting to see, who have you got on your team? What kind of tools are you going to employ? So when I talk about tools, I'm talking about software systems, inventory management systems, point of sale systems. How do those integrate with your people? And then what processes do you have? Have you sat down, either purchased or written standard operating procedures all the way down to what we would call methods and procedures, so that you really have a good understanding of how your business works? If you don't have people, processes, and tools dialed in, I don't believe you're going to be successful. So I have to vet deals based on my understanding of how business works from intention to retention. Then I have to package that and go sell it to investors.
Sure.
So I really need to understand your business and that you understand your business.
Well, I think what you're suggesting to people is good practice to begin with, whether they're going to present you with a package or not. It's a good advice one way or the other. Well, let's switch gears here. Let's say one of our listeners is interested in investing in the cannabis industry. Can you tell us why letting Cliintel Capital Group manage their cannabis investment is a good idea?
Sure. We're not for every investor, and cannabis isn't for every investor. it does have an inherent risk because it is still, as we know, federally illegal. So we typically only work with accredited investors.
Okay.
So high net worth individuals who can absorb the risk that is inherent in the current state of affairs. Quite frankly, if you're not a fan of the plant, meaning you consume at some level, you're probably not going to get over stigma in order to make the investment. So it's not that we require our investors to consume, but I do find that 99 times out of 100, if a person, an investor, does not consume or has some kind of deep-seated issue with consumption, they're really wasting their time as well as the investment firm.
You said your email, but same thing goes for somebody that's interested in investing with yes. Cliintel Capital Group? Same email?
Yeah, and you can see more about the investment side of the company by going to Cliintel, spelled incorrectly again, clientelcapital.com. And you can see some of my team and you can see the kinds of projects that we're involved with. I believe our firm's different because we are operators and because we are spread across the ecosystem from cultivation through distribution and some of the support services along that workflow. So we really do understand the business, and that's come at great personal expense to me and a lot of time because my money sits next to the investors. I personally own 25% or more of our funds. And so I'm not a professional fund manager like you would see in a mutual fund company. We do live it and love it, and we're down in the dirt, quite literally.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Well, all of Rich's information, his email address, and Cliintel Capital Group information will be on the MJBulls website at mjbulls.com. Rich, this has been really informative, and I appreciate you being on the show. Thanks again.
Thank you.